everybody, and welcome to the first episode of a new segment I'm doing. And I decided on the name Darcy's Diaper Days because one of you beautiful people suggested it, and I thought, that's the best name, I have to use that. That is clearly the correct choice, so thank you. Today, we're going to the cinema! Whee! So, because we're going to the cinema, which is an activity that requires just a massive drink and an equally large tub of popcorn, I figured that I would wear my most absorbent diaper. And the one that came to mind as the most absorbent on my shelf is the Rears Inspire. So I popped one of those ones on, and as you may have seen in the intro, I decided to use stuffers. Because like I said, it's a sitting downy sort of one. All of the liquid, if it's gonna go anywhere, is gonna pool right in the middle. So that's where I popped the stuffers, to just give myself a little bit of, extra protection. And another thing you might have seen in the intro is a pair of these bad boys. Now, I used to wear plastic pants every single time I wore a diaper outside of the house. I don't wear them nearly as much as I used to, just because I live in a really hot country and the elastic around the legs gives you a lot of chafe. But I still feel like wearing plastic pants to the cinema is a good idea, because like I said, all the liquid pools right in the middle, and it's difficult to move around to encourage it to go into other areas of the diaper, which always makes me a little bit worried that I'm going to leak. So plastic pants. I'm just going to slip them on, and then I'll show you the rest of my outfit, which has been chosen for maximum cinema comfort while also being cute. My kitten came to visit. He doesn't seem to be too interested in what's going on here. I think he's just bored. On with the rest of the outfit. Yes! So we're gonna start with our socks. And mine don't match because we just kind of wash socks and they go in a big old pile. And then we just pick out 2 socks. I only wear matchy socks if it's super important to the outfit that they match. Otherwise, I don't tend to bother. But this one has hearts on it, and I think this one's Daddy's. Don't tell on me. I'm always a little bit paranoid that people are gonna notice that I'm wearing. So another thing I've said in my videos about how to conceal a diaper while you're outside is to wear a pair of stockings or a pair of tights over the top of everything you've got here, which just sort of helps to muffle the crinkle a little bit. These plastic pants that I have, they're pretty thick, they're an interesting consistency, and they don't have a lot of crinkle to them, which also muffles the natural crinkle of a diaper. The Rears Inspire, just by virtue of being really big, thick boys, are pretty crinkly, but by the time I've put my tights and plastic pants over the top of them, you probably won't be able to hear very much. Also important for a cinema, you need to be quiet. Otherwise other people will go, "Hey, who's this person behind me with the suspiciously large butt making crinkling sounds every time they move?" I'm just kidding, nobody's gonna know. And then over the top, we have a dress. This dress has what's called a circle skirt. Circle skirts are called circle skirts because they look like a circle before they're sewn into a skirt. And the effect that this has is that it completely covers my bottom and nobody can tell what's going on underneath the dress, which very, very good for going to the cinema. Beautiful, we're done. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I'm gonna go get a longer t-shirt. Excuse me, just 1 minute. Wearing a longer t-shirt gives me a little bit of more... Peppy, why are you walking? I'm trying to do a new segment. Everybody's all up in my business. Up. Be a good girl. You can sit here if you're a good girl while we talk. Yeah, wearing a long shirt gives me a little bit of extra peace of mind, so I can be positive that even though I'm wearing a skirt over the top of my diaper, but if I'm wearing a short shirt like I was wearing before, I'm a little bit worried that if I reach up and do anything, then my shirt's gonna come free and you'll be able to see the plastic pants or the diaper from the back. Not that much of a big deal when you're going to a place like the cinema, which doesn't usually involve raising your hands up. But for places like, oh, I love her. Mwah. But for places like theme parks, where you might be on an exciting roller coaster and you want to go, ah, then long shirts are... I stopped petting her, you see. I'm the worst pet owner in the world. It makes her spin and chase her tail because she's not getting attention. Oof. We're almost ready to go. My jumper's just in the clothes dryer. It's just started to get cold where I am, which isn't all that cold. It's probably like 18 degrees outside, but it's a bit drizzly, so I'm gonna wear my big coat when we go out. Yeah, and the big coat also serves another secret purpose that I'll show you when I have my big coat on. Okay, my big coat is out of the dryer, and I am ready to go outside where it's cold. But I bet you're waiting to see what my dual purpose for a big coat was, and it's this. You can very easily slip a pacifier clip up through your sleeve, clip it to your shirt under your jacket so no one can see, and because it's so cold outside, you can just go and nobody will ever know. I'm just kidding. That's a bit in your face for me. I wouldn't do that. But if you were going somewhere, say like, I don't know, camping, and you wanted to have a passy and you wanted to hide it from people, then that's an option. But you'd have to go camping somewhere cold. Anyway, let's go! Let's go to the movies.
It's loud as heck down here. We're in the car park, underneath the cinema. And now we're going up to the cinema. I'm feeling very comfortable. The general consensus of the movie was, one of my friends said it had, and I quote, too much plot, and I would just like to take this opportunity to say that I called it, and that spoilers are incoming, that they were gonna work together, and the true villains all along were humans, as is true in life and in probably many other movies. All the other chumps that I went to the pictures with are off in the bathroom right now. Chumps.
Okay, we're back in my little room. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that little trip to the seminar. Also, I've been changed. It is a different day. That was probably unnecessary to note, but I didn't want anybody to be like, why are they wearing a different outfit? Why different? What? So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to let you know some pros, I'm going to let you know some cons of wearing a diaper to the movies, and then I'm just going to rate the overall experience. Sound good? Okay. I tried to do an off-the-cuff breakdown of my cinema experience, but it turned out real bad. Anywhoozles, let's get down to the bulk of it. I'm going to go through what worked, what didn't work, and extra bits and pieces that I don't have a catch-all umbrella title thing to put it under. I didn't write a script. I'm just making stuff up as I go along. I probably should have written a script. The number one pro is obviously that you don't need to get up and go pee. You don't need to worry about missing any part of the film because you need to go pee. You don't need to worry about waiting in those dreadfully long post-movie toilet lines for all the people who managed to hold on to their bladder throughout the duration of the entire movie. Which, just side point, I don't understand how people have the ability to do that. I think my bladder must be... Ooh! That was a weird sound. Meow. Sorry, my cat is a distraction. But he's adorable! What was I talking? Oh yeah, I don't understand how people can not pee for an entire film. Do you just have gargantuan bladders, or do I just have a tiny one? I don't know. Following on from that, I have a great deal of anxiety about needing to find a bathroom when I'm out of the house and not having access to one easily, especially in a place like a cinema where, depending on whether or not it's busy, for us we were lucky, there was nobody else in the cinema, it was just me and my friends. So we had full run of the place, it was amazing. But if there's a lot of people there, you might be worried about having to scooch by a row of people. You might be anxious about, oh no, if I walk past the screen, people are going to see my head and then they're going to miss whatever that's happening at the bottom of the screen. I don't know, I just have a lot of anxiety about needing to get to the bathroom and not being easily able to get to the bathroom. So diapie helps immensely with that. It removes the problem. For me, diapies remove a great deal of anxiety. So because you have extra padding on your butt, it's like having like a cushion stuck to your butt. So it's a lot comfier to sit on a cinema chair for that length of time. I know some cinema chairs are super plush and padded and comfortable, and that's the kind of cinema that I went to. But I like to think that the extra padding and squish on my butt makes the chairs more comfy. That counts as a pro, and it just feels cozy. Like, I feel more relaxed in general when I'm wearing a diaper, and we're back to talking about anxiety again, but I have a lot of anxiety, like social anxiety and just general about being out in public and things, and diapers just make me feel better. That's not specific to a cinema environment, but diapers make me feel good. And wearing a diaper to the cinema, which is also an activity that makes me feel good, just makes for an extra good experience. Diapers are good. That's the pro. That's all you really need to know. That's the bottom line for basically every video I've ever made, ever. Okay, now we're on to the cons, the not so good stuff. It was pretty difficult for me to come up with this list of cons because it's wearing a diaper to the movies. Like, it's not like I'm skydiving. Actually, no. On with the cons. This also isn't specific to a cinema environment, but movie bathrooms, they might not have a convenient place where you can go to get changed. I know in ladies' toilets, there's usually a bin for sanitary products to dispose of. People who use the men's bathroom, I don't know what's in there. I'm told there's not a lot of bins. At least not bins that you can discreetly deposit a used diaper into. So for that, I would probably recommend travel with a backpack, and in your backpack just have a plastic bag, some wipes, anything else you might need for changing purposes. But by bringing a backpack, if there's no bin in the bathroom, then you're able to bundle up your diaper, put it in the plastic bag, and then chuck it out later where you have a discreet place where you can dispose of it. If you're lucky enough to have a bin, you probably could forgo this step, but a con of wearing diapers to the movies or just out of the house in general, it can be a bit hit or miss whether or not the bathroom is going to have changing facilities if you need to get changed. And if you need to get changed, please remember to bring an extra pair of underpants, because I've done that 1,000 times. I've had to get changed, I don't have a second diaper, and then I'm just walking around with a bare butt and it's uncomfortable. So bring underpants as well as a plastic bag and a backpack if you want to err on the side of caution. I do this all the time. I can't stop. It's my favorite hand gesture. Let's see. The crinkliness could be a problem if it's a particularly quiet or suspenseful movie. Like if you're just going to be sitting there like not being able to move the entire time because you're worried that your crinkles will be audible. But that's why we do all of the noise dampening things before we leave the house, like wearing a pair of shorts over your diaper, or you could even forgo the plastic pants if you like, if you're a little bit worried about the too much crinkle factor. The fact that, oh kitty, the fact that I was wearing a few stuffers and plastic pants, I realised after I looked over the footage that my waddle was a lot more obvious. There's 1,000 reasons that people could be waddling that aren't wearing a diaper, so it doesn't embarrass me. But if you're worried about being a little bit more conspicuous, maybe don't go with the stuffers. Maybe just try to wear like a good absorbency diaper. But obviously everybody's experience is going to be a little bit different based on the diapers that you wear, based on how you walk. And the final con that I could think of is I personally have a lot of issues relaxing or concentrating enough to go pee while there's a lot of other sensory things happening. Like, the audio in cinemas is very loud. It's loud enough to make the chairs vibrate, and that can be distracting and like break your train of thought and you can't pee. If you're one of those people who doesn't have the issue and you can just relax and go whenever you like, that's flippin' awesome, and I'm a little bit jealous of you. I'm not one of those people. I have to sit down and I have to think and concentrate extremely hard to be able to wet my diaper in public, and sometimes even in private. There's ambient noise like people eating popcorn or drinking drinks. You might even still be able to taste things in your mouth, and that can be distracting. There's lights and things happening on the screen. There's not really a way to get around that other than practice. You just need to practice. You need to get into the habit of, like, even if you go and put on a diaper, put on some clothes and go and sit in your back garden so you can get used to the feeling of being outside while all of the external things are happening around you. And that's basically it for cons, and a lot of them are easy to overcome and a lot of them aren't even cons for some people. So my overall experience of going to the cinema while wearing a diaper, flippin' excellent. It was really great to be able to skip the toilet line afterwards. That is the only bad thing that I don't like about the cinema. There is nothing worse than you've just finished a movie and you've got beans in your knees and you want to run around because you've been sitting down for 2 hours, but now you have to wait in line because you have to go pee because you got a giant drink and you're down the whole thing in about 30 minutes and you've been holding on to a full bladder for the last third of the film. Diaper to the cinema solves this issue. Final ruling, 9.5 out of 10 of diaper suitability for this activity. I think it's probably as close to perfect as you can get for a diaper wearing experience, short of, I don't know, gaming or sitting in front of your TV at home. Going to the cinemas is basically just a really big, exciting version of watching TV in a diaper at home. I hope you liked my new segment. If you want to see more of this new style of video, let me know, please, in the comments what sort of activities you'd like to see me do next. I hope you guys just have the best rest of your day. I hope it's so lovely that you go to bed and your face hurts from smiling. Bye everybody!